Hi, Faisal.
Hi, Shelley.
Nice to be here with you on this day. Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, really. Blessed Easter.
Thank you. So our last conversation, you had a very interesting perspective on shame and the subtleties of shame. And I know you have a lot to teach about the superego.
Yes, it's one of the big subjects, really. We've been addressing big subjects before. We address big subjects, but this one is even more intricate and more complex. And I try to present it from the perspective of this work, the superego, not according to traditional classical psychology, but more about it from how we define it. The definition of the superego is this inner judge, inner voice within us that is constantly critical, judgmental, reductionist, devaluing, constantly attacking this ego and making the ego feels so overwhelmed, so deficient, not good enough. No matter what we do, this voice comes again and always trying to be an upper, it's the upper one. It's the one that says, you could have done it better, or you should have tried better, and all of those things. This voice is very damaging, is very relentless. This voice is also misleading, and we often believe it, and most people try to upgrade themselves in order to meet it, but there is no way of meeting it. There is no way of ever succeeding in getting its approval, because by its nature, it's a mechanism that just repeats the same message. You're not good enough. No matter what you do, you are not good enough. And it has so many aspects to it. I'm gonna go through some of them. But one important aspect is that a form of a self. This self is called blaming self and commanding self in certain traditions. The blaming self is this voice within you that says, yeah, go ahead and do it. It pushes you to do it, you should do it, you should take the risk, you should, you name it. So it pushes you to do something, and it even interferes with your wisdom or with your intelligence. And then you go and do something, and then you discover it was off. Then, you did something wrong. And then this superego voice come and become the blaming self, saying, I told you not to do it, don't you get it? Where is your mind? Where is your intelligence? And this blaming self, commanding self, dominate the scene. And as the student, as the seeker, go deeper in their unfoldment, their inner structure of their inner psyche, of their inner mind, and unconscious patterns, you will find many things within you that you won't like. And the superego will start beating you up about them, and try to shame you or reduce you or attack you. Or so then many people are afraid to open up the unconscious, because then the superego will see what is hidden. The superego knows what is hidden. In fact, the superego is the one who installed these feelings of shame and fear and reduction and deficiency in us in the first place. Then it blames us for having it. So for the seekers, please be very mindful of the presence of this voice, be conscious of it, slowly, slowly develop the courage, the consciousness, the groundedness to encounter it. And there are many ways of encountering this voice. If you are weak and this voice of the superego keep attacking you, installing fear in you, installing weakness in you, it's very good to cultivate anger against it. Don't direct your anger at your loved ones or at the people around. Direct your anger at this voice that's constantly attacking and reducing you. And by getting mad at it, you get stronger and stronger. You grow bigger than this voice. And it is like you cultivate the courage, and that has to do with what we call energy of vitality and strength, the red latifa. Okay. So the red latifa, the red quality of essence, has to do with David standing up to Goliath. The superego here is Goliath, and David is the little child standing up and dethroning this Goliath. And another times the superego is not hostile, is not attacking, but it is more like installing, taking the ground from underneath your feet, making you feel insecure, ungrounded, unsupported. It feels like you don't have the strength to stand up. You don't have the inner power to stand up. It takes away, it cuts off your will, the capacity of solidity, of groundedness. So when this voice comes, another way to encounter the superego is like Zen-like, Zen-like. You listen to the voice, you don't give a damn about what it says, you just hush it away. Okay. Like a fly, you don't get reactive, you just very grounded, very solid, Zen, anchored block. This is a quality has to do with white essence, the essence of groundedness, the essence of impeccability, the essence of not being moved. You are like a mountain, This voice can yell and pick on you, and then you just don't get engaged with it. You are just relaxed, breathing, meditating. This voice begin to fizzle away. So the style of castrating you begin to diminish. Another way the superego comes by sometimes installing doubt in your mind. It confuses the mind. It even uses some of the most intelligent concepts and ideas, to confuse the mind, to make you feel so hesitant. You don't know whether to follow this path or that path, And one way to encounter it is to be aware of the doubt, and not engage in the doubt, not trying to resolve it, not trying to erase it, but more consciousness of the doubt, that it is just a doubt, and that you are not going to find an answer, right or wrong, but it's just a cloud of doubt. And the more you can relax into that, the mind, the doubtful mind, begin to fizzle away, and a certain quality of essence begin to unfold in your mind, has to do with peace. You feel your mind is so peaceful. It's not that you reach right or wrong, You might even not know the answer for whatever you're seeking, but you get out of the fearful, doubtful mind, the splitting mind. And this quality is the latifa, the black light latifa. It brings peace of mind, so it is the latifa of the Christ. While the white latifa is the latifa of Moses, symbolized Moses facing Pharaoh. Pharaoh here is another aspect of the superego, and Moses representing another aspect of essence. And this one, the doubt, is facing the inner beast who is always installing confusion in your unconscious, and the peace of the Christ light the black light, and his gold opens up in your mind, and his golden essence opens up in your heart. So you feel you're back to yourself. So another, another aspect to deal with the superego is that not to take it too serious, to cultivate sense of humor, you know. If it tells you you are no good, tell it, you know, wait till you see more, you know. Just hang around and you will see really, you know, more about what you don't like about me. You know, I am much worse than what you think, you know. So you cultivate sense of humor, sense of not being heavy duty about yourself, not taking yourself too seriously, nor taking your superego seriously. So neither the ego nor the superego have so much importance. And this quality of defending has to do with cultivating the yellow latifa, the joy, the lightfulness, the delight, the sense of humor. You know, sometimes the worst of calamities is just might make you crack up. You know, so ridiculous. You know, sometimes you see those videos of people going through all, you know, I think funny American videos. You know, sometimes they have. You know, you see people going through disasters, but you can't but crack up. You know. And so cultivating some kind of sense of humor, but not overboard, you know, just delightful humor. Another major quality also of defending against the superego has to do with whatever the superego is attacking you is hurting. It's telling you you are not good enough, you are not intelligent enough, you are not this enough or that enough, or you name it. So that is very hurtful, you know. So one way is to face this voice, whoever it is. It could be mother, it could be father, you know, attacking the superego part, and you allow yourself to show your vulnerability, telling it this really hurts, and you allow yourself to feel your hurt. You don't defend against your hurt, you know. You really feel the hurt, and you could say thank you for now. I feel how much this has been hurting me, you know, and I've been trying to please you, so you stop hurting me. But now I have the courage to feel my hurt, and feeling the hurt, it feels like some hurt in the heart, sometimes some pain in the chest, not as much as we are afraid of, really. You know, the exaggeration about the hurt is much more than the actual hurt. You know, the most wounding hurts maybe a little pinched nerve in the heart, or some kind of, you know, get amplified by a trumpet of emotions, you know, like a loud emotions. But if you calm down all of that, it feels an actual pain in the heart or in the sacred heart. And if you feel it, some tears might come, some tenderness might come. And another quality is born, which is a green essence. The quality of compassion. Yellow was joy, black was peace, green is loving kindness. You begin to feel, wow, you know, this has been so cruel, this voice within me. It could be my father who was so cruel, or my mother so cruel, or whoever it is. But it's really just been so cruel. So then you cultivate compassion for yourself. And as the compassion for yourself gets stronger, in fact, it begins to open up the thymus gland. You know, in the medicine field, they believe the child after 4 or 5 months old, 4 or 5 years, the thymus gland shrinks and atrophies. You know, and in our work, we believe it's true, but it can be reopened. And this gland is like, you know, like it goes between the ribs. You know, it's a gland. And when this hurt is allowed and the energy begin to move there, the thymus gland begin to activate and begin to become like, the ribs become like a palm tree, you know. The ribs themselves are gold and the green is between them, you know, the thymus gland, producing kindness, compassion, loving, healing, tenderness. So that's another way of defending against the superego. Another way of the superego, that the superego, as you see, is a big subject. To learn the intricacies of the different parts of it, you know, requires so much knowledge. If you don't know, all what I am saying and you haven't had the chance to study those things, you know. There is, for example, the bulldozer of the superego. There is a part of the superego, the commanding self, is like a bulldozer. It's like a parent that bulldozes the child to do something or eat something or whatever, you know. This bulldozer get internalized by time and becomes our superego. So in order to encounter the power of this bulldozer, you need an equal quality of essence, you know, that is very solid, very powerful. And that has to do with the quality of essence we call citadel. Citadel is an inner structure. You know, the ground of it is like white diamond and the top of it is gold diamond, gold domes, and it looks like a citadel. You know? And when it lands, it feels like solid and you feel you are rooted to walk the walk of your truth. You feel connected to your soul, you feel connected to what you love to do in life, and you don't care about the superego, whether yours or the superego of the society, you know. You feel this is a calling within you and you want to walk that walk. You know?
Amen to that.
Sorry?
Amen to that.
Yeah, amen to that, really. I know for me, like I was so much taken by the society of the, you know, superego, my father, my society community in Kuwait, and I was like encouraged to be a scientist, you know, and because scientist is, you know, because I was intelligent in school, I get 4-point average and all of that. So everybody says, you know, why waste your time, do something else, be scientist because this is the age of science, you know. And I was a poet. I wanted to study poetry. I wanted to study humanity. I wanted to be healer. I didn't want to be a scientist. But I came to Berkeley, went to, you see, getting 4-point average there in math and in science and all of it. But after some time, I stopped dead on my track. Nothing within me would move with it. I have the intelligence. I was getting 4-point average. You know, it's fine. I was very good in those things. But my heart was not singing the joy, was not resonating with what's in it. I stopped and started changing my direction. I started getting into therapy, and from therapy started moving more and more into what my heart really loved. And the result is glorious. You know, it's been years of inner struggle with issues and with development and blockages and all of that. But the product of all of that, of walking the walk, of the citadel is walking the walk, is that I feel I've attained such a fulfillment in this lifetime that even if I die now, I feel I have fulfilled what I came here to do. Honestly, I wish this for every soul on this planet. I wish every soul feels what they came here to do and can walk the walk and fulfill it. You know? I feel the teaching has landed and what was supposed to be coming has come, you know, has completed. That's now I am enjoying the abundance of this YouTube, you know, videos and sharing some of the major landmarks of essence. And my apology, I cannot get into the depth of the intricacies about, you know, what is a citadel and another aspect, for example, that he's the superego, is that there is the judge, the part of the superego that judges. This gets replaced by what we call the diamond body, the diamond consciousness. The judge within is a very stupid mechanism. It judges without understanding, while diamond consciousness doesn't judge. It really understands. It has the capacity to look, to see, why is this person doing this, you know? And sometimes you discover that why they are doing it has very profound meaning, you know. Sometimes like it's like might make the person feel shame for judging them or attacking them because they had such a beautiful reason in their heart and their soul to do what they do. You know?
Yeah, like astute discernment without the tightness.
Yes, and without the putting down or belittling or the judgment. So that gets replaced, the judge gets replaced by the body of understanding, the diamond of consciousness and understanding. Another aspect is that the superego plays God, you know. It's always sitting on the throne. It's always right. It's never wrong. It always knows it all. It always, I mean, you name it, you know. And the more you can open up and you see how grandiose this part is, it's that you see that it is replacing God, you know. Then what is God? You know, what is it replacing? It replacing God, the individual, and God, the cosmic, and the God, the mechanism of creation, the totality. So the superego, you can see it as a mandala around the navel. That's why in the old time they say, contemplate the navel. The center of the superego is in the navel. Mm. It comes with the umbilical cord when we were in the womb. It comes with the influx from mother and the environment, the propensity for it, the structure for it, generate there. Then later on it gets filled in with behavioral and psychological patterns, you know. So when the person sees how the superego is dominating the field and becoming God, playing Godhood, the totality of it gets replaced. So then the whole belly center becomes a holy city, a city of jewel structures. In the middle of it is a throne of the point of light. It's all swimming in the ocean of the absolute. Then you feel, oh, this is the superego, not this part, flimsy little part who doesn't know anything, who is just a petty tyrant, who was the petty tyrant in my father and my mother. That the universe is a superego. The universe is a cosmic, immense teacher, guide, protector, lover, provider, you know. And the ego says, oh, okay, I don't worship this false demigod. I begin to worship and connect with the real God. So the resolution of the superego is really an immensity of journey, you know. But for those who are, you know, beginning with it, please be mindful of the voice that attacks you. See that it is not real, it is not you, it's not God, it's not anything that, you know, it is just a program. And little by little, stand up to it, dismantle it, undo it. Now, in undoing the superego, some went overboard, you know. So they in order to demolish the bully, they became bullies, you know. So they became too aggressive and too attacking and all of those things. And in doing so, I visualize that the human soul has a garden, you know, and the garden has a fence. And because I remember here, in my house, we have front yard, and my ex-wife used to love gardening, and we loved roses, and she put roses. And then the deers come every, you know, spring, and the roses are gone. So we decided to put a fence, yeah. And the fence was to protect the roses, the flowers, from being taken. Visualize the same thing with the soul, that the soul needed certain kind of alarm, certain kind of protection to protect it from erring, from going the wrong paths, from falling into the lower ethical code, the lower moral code, you know, of existence. Not to be a thief, not to be a killer. So that being created a fence for it, you know. And these fences, if you cross them, they sound like an alarm in the system. And these are the human feelings, you know. And one of them, for example, is shame. The superego capitalizes on shaming the child, on putting it down, on reducing it, on, you know, and creating unhealthy shame in it. You know? And this unhealthy shame becomes a crippling. So the soul becomes crippled. But if you liberate the soul and let it cross the boundary of shame, it loses healthy shame. So there is another shame that is like a jewel inside. If you cross it, the soul has a feeling within it that this is shameful, I should not have done it. If I go hurt an old, you know, person in the road, and or I mock them or something, you know, you see some children have that feeling in them, they won't do it. And others don't have that sense of shame. the shame in them is so broken, you know, that they cannot hear the voice of the soul. They cannot sense the fence around the soul. Healthy shame, healthy fear, healthy reverence, healthy grief,
Remorse.
healthy remorse. These are beautiful feelings. If they don't get, if they don't become pathological, then they become like an elegant fence for the soul to keep maintaining with its virtuous nature, with the virtue of creation, with the ethical virtues, virtuous universe, with the moral, ethical that sustains society. A soul without shame, without completely shame, you know, is to me becomes a sociopath, becomes borderline or sociopath. It doesn't know where to stop. So shame, healthy shame, is a very gentle feeling. It feels like as if the soul feels that this is not right. You know? So some people might argue this is not shame or this is not fear. I think it is on the human level. It feels like little shame. It feels like little fear, you know, that alarms the person of danger or of hurting or of, you know, crossing the line. So in throwing this superego off your system, replace it with the goodies. Ultimately, the holy city and all the structure I described, the bigger mandala in the belly, it is the ethical kingdom. It is the ethical, moral universe landing in your system. And then all the virtues we talk about seems to be spontaneously arising within you without having to have the book, you know, about them. You know, thou shalt not kill, thou, you know, all of those things, mercy to the elders or the parents. These feelings are in the soul, and they are, you know, really part of the precious jewel fence that can resonate virtues and love in the soul. So the superego in the beginning need to be toppled down but replaced by this structure, healthy structure.
I love that, Faisal. It's such a beautiful synthesis. And thanks, by the way, for the entire teaching of the Lataif
Yes.
thrown in on the side. No, that's really beautiful. And I love the center, you know, the hara, the kaf, that being the place that life flows through when the superego can be abated.
I'm glad. I'm glad it came together.
Thank you.